Let's start. Today we have to discuss optical instruments. You can see the screen now or not? Not, I think.
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now started. Okay.
Now visible.
Optical instruments. The eye. Eye is also wonderful optical instrument, we can say. Let us see the structure of eye once. It is such amazing lens. See, the lens which is biological is so amazing. Normally, if I have a lens, that lens will have a definite focal length because it is made up of glass and glass is hard. It is not soft the way eye is. But this is such a soft lens that by applying force with the help of muscles, these are ciliary muscles which I am drawing in with red color. These are this is see here it is written ciliary muscles. These muscles apply force on the lens, and as a result, the lens can get compressed and it can change its curvature. What happens if I compress it? Radius of curvature will increase or decrease if I compress it from both sides.
Increase.
Radius of curvature will decrease. See, more flat means it will decrease. It will become more curved. But if it becomes more curved, then radius will decrease. Radius decreases means I think everybody knows that 1 by f is equal to mu minus 1 into 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. If I assume both radius are same, then 2 by r. When r decreases, then focal length
Also decreases.
Focal length also decreases. Power of the lens increases. Or power is inversely proportional to focal length. The power of the lens increases. So yes, it will cause increase in power. It will cause increase in power. Now, we can adjust, means it is a lens with variable focal length, we can say, and the focal length can be adjusted. That's why, because see here, the screen, this is such a wonderful thing. This screen is at a fixed distance. It will not change. Means our image distance is fixed. So what are we doing? And there are so many values of V. We have formula 1 by V minus 1 by U. That only or not? For mirrors, it is 1 by V plus 1 by U. And for this, it is 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. So our value of V is fixed. But I can change F to accommodate for the changes in value of U. When object will be in different places. Accordingly, I will change F in such a way so that V will again remain always fixed, constant V. It is a wonderful thing. V does not change, but U keeps changing. According to V, F keeps changing according to U. So next, we have cornea. So we have ciliary muscles which can contract the lens and decompress and compress it. It can change the radius of curvature. So focal length can change. What is cornea doing here? Actually, the effective focal length of the lens, it is like combination of the lens, the focal length due to cornea and due to lens. Means it is like two lenses in combination. One lens is cornea lens and one lens is the other this lens inside. There are two together. Cornea also acts like a lens. It is also a transparent medium. So from any transparent medium can act like a lens. So effective power will become P1 plus P2. Where P1 is fixed power and P2 is adjustable power. P1 is power of cornea, which cannot be changing. Cornea power will remain constant only, but the power of the lens can change. I think cornea power also may change slightly. I don't know because this curvature is touching cornea also. But I have read somewhere that cornea is nearly constant and lens changes. Power of lens changes. Okay, whatever. But it is combination of two lenses, we can say. Sometimes we don't worry about cornea. We take just effectively this lens only. When they say just one lens, then you have to take only that lens into consideration. If they give only one lens power, so don't strive searching for the other power you should be getting, not like that. Okay. Pupil is this wonderful thing again here. Have you seen camera? And
Yes,
if you those who have used camera, and especially some good camera, I think they may know in more detail that there is something called as exposure time. Exposure time, for what time we want to keep this shutter on, for how long we should want to keep the camera there, so that for how long the light should enter. There are certain things, and what should be the aperture. Aperture also is there in camera settings, if you have seen. Then aperture means how much size, big size of the area should be there through which the light can enter. That aperture we adjust in the camera. Okay, there is a shutter in front of camera and we can adjust its aperture. Those features are there in camera. In our eye also that feature is there. This is a pupil, this opening here, this small hole from which the light can enter, and this is adjustable opening. It is amazing thing, because our retina may get damaged if a lot of light enters into it. This retina may get damaged. Okay, so if we don't want our retina to be damaged, this is retina. If we don't want our retina to be damaged, then what should happen? Then the light entering should be of small intensity only, not much large intensity. Therefore, you may have seen that they say that wear goggles when we have to see towards sun. Some special goggles we will be wearing at that time, so that the light directly does not enter into our retina, that high intensity light. Or when you may have seen those welding machines. In welding machines, the light intensity is so high, and moreover, sparking is also there, although that also is the reason, but light intensity is also very high, so that we don't see that light directly. And we wear, in that case also, we wear the goggles. We wear something to prevent that light, the photographic plate we wear, so that the light cannot directly enter. Okay, so these things we do to protect our retina. But this mechanism is already there. God has given us that mechanism, that there is a pupil, and this pupil can make the hole opening small, and it can make the hole opening large accordingly. When we want the light to be more, if we want the light to be less. For example, in the dark, already light intensity is very less, but we want to see in that time also. Then this pupil, we will not do anything. This will automatically get enlarged. This will automatically get enlarged. We don't have control over this, and as it automatically gets enlarged, we are able to see. We are able to see the light, right? And this pupil automatically gets contracted when we want, when it is daytime. Already a lot of light is there in surrounding, so we want less intensity to enter. Then it will be getting contracted. So it is a small opening. Pupil is a narrow opening here. Aqueous humor, it is just liquid portion here. After cornea, there is a liquid portion starting from cornea to the lens. That is aqueous humor. I think some power may be due to aqueous humor also. Then I don't know, but I have heard only they talk about the power of cornea sometimes and power of lens. Maybe aqueous humor also has some power or not, that I don't know. Iris. Pupil is the opening, and I think iris is this thing which reduces that opening and changes the opening size. That is, I think, based on iris. Suspensory ligaments. Suspensory ligaments, as I told you before, these are just muscles which will be connecting the ciliary muscles with these ligaments to the lens. The ligaments will be connecting the ciliary muscles to the lens, right? Here it is aqueous humor, and here it is vitreous humor. These are just liquids filling the space between cornea and lens, and the lens and the retina. Anyway, so this is about eye. Now we will discuss the defects of eye also, if they have discussed it here. If not discussed, then also we will discuss it. They have not discussed it. No, they have discussed it, but here they have discussed. So the size of an object is sensed by us, is related to the size of image formed on the retina. So if we see that some object appears to be larger or smaller, that depends on how much angle it subtends in our eye, retina of the eye. Theta angle here, theta angle here. So that much will be the image formed here. Okay. So it is because of this angle, we are able to see whether the object appears to be, if this object goes far away, it appears to be smaller, because the angle it subtends in our eye will be smaller. So image formed will be of smaller size. Something like that happens. Okay, right. Next we have simple microscope. Least distance of distinct vision also I should mention. What is least distance of? This is important. Least distance of clear vision, or we call it as near point. The nearest point for which the image can be focused on the retina is called the near point of the eye, and that is equal to 25 centimeters.
25 centimeters.
For an average person. It varies from person to person. Some have defective eye, So eye defect is there, then this may vary. But for a healthy normal person, we assume it to be 25 centimeter. Although in healthy person also it may vary from person to person. But we take it on an average. The average value they have written here. The average value of the least distance for clear vision for a normal eye is generally taken to be 25 centimeter. Right. So generally taken, he's saying. So if you find some question in examination and they have not given any data, by default we want to take it as 25 only. We should take 25. But if some additional information is given by which we are getting it to be 20 centimeter, then you take that only. Then you believe that data given. Okay, because otherwise also it is not a hard and fast rule that much. But yes, on an average we take it to be 25. When nothing else is mentioned, then we should take it 25. Right. So near point maybe, see, he's saying that it may be 7 to 8 centimeter at this age. At the younger age, it may be closer. Than in old age, it becomes muscles cannot sustain such a large strain, and near point shifts to the larger values. Observe here one more thing you should notice. In old age, the muscles cannot sustain a large strain, and near point shifts to the large values. Sometimes 1-2 meters or even more also. But for the children, it is as close as sometimes 7 to 8 centimeter also. So understand that somehow it depends on how strong our muscles are. Means because we need the muscles to make the radius. I told you before, we need the muscles to make the radius smaller. We need the muscles to make the radius smaller. And this also gives you one more idea. It means if you want to see something closer at the near point, if you want to see something closer, let's say up to 25 centimeter we want to see, and children can see up to 7 to 8 centimeter also, then they are able to see up to such a small distance because they have stronger muscles and they are able to compress it much, and their flexibility of eye is much that their radius becomes much smaller and focal length becomes much smaller, so power becomes much larger. All these things are related. Radius becomes smaller, the strength of muscles is more. Strength of muscles more, radius becomes smaller, focal length becomes smaller, power of the eye lens becomes more, power of the eye lens becomes more, then we are able to see much closer. If you want to do this, you can try, or you should not try. In fact, maybe try for a fraction of a second. It will not make much difference. Take your finger and place it very close to your eye and then try to see it. But don't do it for more time. Your eyes will maybe getting defected because of that if you keep on doing this again and again. Don't do that. But just for once you can see it. And you will find that you really need to put a lot of strain on your eyes to see something which is very close to your eye. So, although we should not do that, right? And in fact, if possible, after studying, and while you are studying or while you are continuously sitting in the room only, watching all the distances of the nearby objects only, then after some time you should, your eyes will also become dry. You should put some water in your eyes and then relax and go outside and see at some farther distance. Not due to corona, you cannot go outside also in certain places, but maybe you have to just take a view up to larger distance so that your eyes will be relaxed. Our eyes are relaxed when we see farther away. For example, seeing the stars in the night or the moon or some farther away objects, okay? Then your eyes will be relaxed. But while you are looking close, then your eyes will be strained. So more strength of muscles is required, more power is required to see at the closer distance objects. This much you know first. Then, okay, fine. Next comes our defects of vision. They have not given here, I think so.
Defects
maybe at last they may have given. Okay. Okay, so let us follow their way only. Let us start discussing now simple microscope. I will also come to defects of vision afterwards. Can I take now? I can take now also, although we don't need microscope to study for that. Okay, let me go now only. Let us finish eye. After that, I will take microscope. Let me see now. Where are the defects of vision given? Nearsightedness, yes, here. These are the defects of vision, right? So, same formula, 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. The formula is not this. Is it the formula 1 by V plus 1 by U? Is it not 1 by V minus 1 by U? What do you think? What is the actual formula for lens?
1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by U.
So is this right formula? This is not right formula. But
sir, after substituting values.
Yes, it is magnitudes.
Yes, sir.
In terms of magnitude, it is correct. So they are writing in terms of magnitude. They are not worrying about signs here. And you may be thinking, why they, in this entire chapter, let me tell you, it is a general rule in this optical instruments chapter. We don't worry about signs. In the beginning, we should be aware of the signs. Means the beginning formula is that only. We started from that formula, 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. But then we know, let us consider this side as positive. Then U will become negative. Then negative. Minus or minus U will become plus U. So finally we convert into magnitude term, and reason for conversion is this. Why don't we do it for the lenses when we discuss in normal lenses? Because at that time our object can sometimes come here, sometimes it can go there. But in our eye, nothing is going to change. Always image will be formed on the retina and always object will be on the other side. Is it possible for the object to be inside our eye? Not possible.
No.
Obviously, object will be outside and image will always be on the retina, because these things are fixed for our eye. Therefore, no need to think about signs. Just learn a new formula. 1 by V naught plus 1 by U naught is equal to 1 by F, and then don't worry about sign ever and start putting just magnitude wise only. That is why we do that. Okay. But otherwise, if you want to put with proper sign, then we have to start with 1 by me minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. But magnitude wise, it is okay. Next. We see here they are giving clearly that as F increases, U naught increases, and F decreases, U naught decreases. Okay. So we change the F. We change the F to by changing the value of U. So if F is more, then power of I will be less. Power of I will be less. F is more, then power radius of curvature will be more. Power of I will be less. Power of I means what here? Power means in diopters. You know the power of lens we define as
1
Yeah.
by
1 by
F.
F.
1 by F.
Meter.
1 by F in
So
meter.
that is in diopters. But it is really strange, and it is funny that this power somehow also tells us that the strain. It also means more power, more strain on eyes. Means it is that way also it is correct. More power means less focal length, and it also means more strain on our ciliary muscles. Because when less focal length, less radius. Less radius, as I told you before, the radius will be less, then it will be putting more strain on our eye. More, it will be contracted more. So this is in terms of that. If that way also we think, I think maybe that is the only reason probably why we start calling it power. No, I think power has different reason. Power is, I think, because of this way we call it power. Because do you know about the convex lens, that when the rays fall on it and then we make them converge, then if it is highly converging, then we say that it can converge so much strongly that the power of the rays which will be falling on a surface will become more. So therefore, I think probably that is the reason why we start calling 1 by F as power. That might be the reason. Anyway, so now come to this maximum distance. We can see maximum distance one can see is given by 1 by U max is equal to 1 by F max minus 1 by V naught. V naught is fixed. So now it is a limitation now. It is a limitation on our maximum distance that we can see. Normally what we should be able to see if we have a proper eyesight, then U max should be infinity, because we should be able to see up to infinity also. Then 1 by F max should be equal to 1 by V naught. So if we have a proper eye, then V naught should be equal to F max. Okay. And V naught is fixed. V naught is a distance from our retina lens to the retina.
To retina.
That is fixed. So that much will be of the focal length. If we want our eye to be proper eye. Okay. So I think they may have given somewhere that it is I don't know how much it is. It is less something. I don't know how much it is. Maybe 1 centimeter, I think so, something. It is very small. You can see also. You can observe your eye will be very small. It will be very less distance. V naught will be very less distance. Anyway, so that much power we want for our eye in order to be able to see the farthest things, and that is the least possible power. Because if I want to see the objects which are closer, then the power should increase and focal length should decrease even further. Then focal length should become less than V naught. Okay. So now, okay, they are discussing same things which I already told you. U minimum for an average person, minimum. Now they are discussing what is the minimum distance that we can see. So ciliary muscles are most strained when we want to see the smallest distances, and in that case, for an average person, it should come out to be 25 centimeter or sometimes even less also. Okay. Then this we call as near point. The nearest point where an eye can see. The nearest point where I can see clearly is called near point, and the farthest point up to which an eye can see clearly is called far point. What is a far point for the normal person? Infinity. What is a far point for a normal person who has no eye defect? Near point of a normal person who has no eye defect. 25 centimeter. Okay, right. Now, defects of vision. Nearsightedness, as the name suggests. Nearsightedness
Myopia.
or short-sightedness, another name, or third name as you are telling me, myopia. If someone has confusion about this, I used to struggle a lot when I used to study like you in 11th class or 12th class. At that time I used to struggle a lot to remember this. It was a lot of sometimes I will forget. I will think that I will interchange these means, and that will create a lot of difference, because you should know clearly what it means. So how I remember afterwards, I have remembered in this way. I will give you a reason why we call it as short-sightedness. The problem was with myopia and hypermetropia. That I used to forget. Hypermetropia. But then I remember this way. Hypermetropia, big word it is. And the big word is related to far-sightedness. Okay. And the
Hyper
short
means
word
more,
is related to short word is related what?
Hyper means more, no sir. Far-sightedness.
Hyper means far-sightedness or not?
Large.
Yes, sir. Hyper means far-sighted.
Hyper means large. That's what I'm saying. Hyper means large. So that's what I said, that it is big. It is related to big, something big, far-sightedness, right? That is how I learned it finally. It is related to far, and let us write it down properly. Hypermetropia, far-sightedness, right? And short-sightedness is myopia. So now they will mainly tell us that what lenses we should use to correct this kind of defect, and what it means. First of all, what is meaning of nearsightedness and short-sightedness? See, nearsightedness or the short-sightedness means that we can see near but we cannot see far. Nearsightedness, we can see near. Far-sightedness, we can see far. Hypermetropia, we can see far but we cannot see closer objects. So nearsighted only we can see near but we cannot see far. That is what it means. So if I want to see far away, then what should I do for seeing far away? As I told you, to see far away, our focal length should become less, and it should become more. Power should become less. For seeing far away, I said for seeing far away, I will be relaxed. Relaxed eye means it uses less power. It uses less power, or it uses more focal length, right? So for seeing far away, I should have less power. But sometimes the power of our eye permanently becomes more, and we are not able to reduce it. When that happens, when permanently the power becomes more, permanently the radius of curvature of eye becomes less, permanently the focal length becomes less, and we are not able to increase it more to see the objects at infinity. Maybe the objects like the sun, or the why should we see sun anyway, moon, or not moon. In Earth also, if the distances are very, very large, 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, we may not be able to see properly. That is called as short-sightedness. And to correct this defect, what type of lens we should use? As I told you, our aim is to reduce the power.
Concave.
If our aim is to reduce the power, then we should be using negative power lens.
Concave.
Our eye has already gained more power and we want it to decrease its power. So the way to decrease its power will be to use a concave lens in series with it, or in front of it. Okay, that is what we should do. And similarly for hypermetropia, it will be opposite of that. Then we will be using concave lens, because we want to increase the power. We want to effectively increase the power of eye lens, right? And how it happens that way, here also they have shown the diagram. See here, these rays which are coming parallelly from infinity, they are not able to focus on retina. They are always calling it retina. Why it is retina? It is retina only.
Spelling mistake.
Spelling mistake on. So they are forming image here, but retina is here. So means in retina, image will be blurred, or it will not be formed at all. So it will be some blurry type of image you will be getting. So here it should be formed. I cannot bring retina to this place. There is no such mechanism given by God to us to bring retina to this place. What should I do now? Maximum I can do, I will bring a concave lens outside, which will form the image of the objects at infinity at a point which is nearby only. And this point, if some object is here, that I can see. If some object is here, that I can see. So main idea is that this lens should, let us say with the help of my eye, I can, this is eye, this is eye, let us say. This is eye. And with help of eye, I can see up to from near point NP to far point FP. But I cannot see, my near point is defected near point. It has a defect, eye defect, let us say. And actual near point should be 25 centimeter, but I cannot see the objects from 25 to near point. That is one kind of defect. Another kind of defect, I cannot see the object from far point to infinity. When I cannot see the objects from far point to infinity, but there is some object which is kept here, and I want to see that object also. Let us say this block is kept here. and I want to see that block. So what should I do now? How to see this block here? I am not able to. This object, okay, whatever it is, block, or I am not able to make it a block. I want to see this. How to see this? I will do one thing. I will just form its image here somewhere. And if I'm able to form its image here, then okay, job is done. I can see it. So I cannot bring this object here, but I can form its image at a location where I can see, and I can see between far point to near point. So this is what I have to do. All I have to do is I have to bring its image in this place. So to bring its image in this place, what should I do? I should be able to see all the objects which are lying between infinity to far point. Then the one which is at infinity, its image I should form at far point. Image of object which is at infinity, like stars or moon, that image should be formed at far point. Far point means the maximum point where up to which I can see objects without putting any glasses, without using the lens. With my own eye, even though it is defected, with my own eye, I can see, let us say, from 30 centimeter up to maybe 2 meters. Then 2 meters is my far point. And if I want to see the star, then I can see any object which is placed at a distance of 2 meters from my eye, but I cannot see stars because those are far away. So I want to just form the image of stars at 2 meters distance away. Then it will appear as if that object is at 2 meters distance away from my eye. For my eye, it will appear like that only, and then we will be able to see it. Then we will be able to see that. Okay. So this is how it works. The entire image of the world, which is after beyond 2 meters, that entire image will be formed in a compressed form in the smaller space, but we will not be able to realize that it is compressed because what we see is all relative. In fact, when you watch any video in your mobile, when you are watching it, it is so much compressed. The whole world you are seeing in a small screen. But do you find it to be a little weird? It appears normal only. It appears as if we are really enjoying it and we are really seeing the view. It appears like that because all the things are compressed in the same proportion. So nothing appears to be awkward to us. It appears everything is normal. Same way, the entire world's image will be formed suitably within this small range from 30 centimeter to 2 meters if I use the proper corrective lens. And what will be the corrective lens that I have to use? I have to use here concave lens to bring the image of infinity to the far point. But wait a second, I have another defect also now. I have one more defect. Which defect I have? I have defect by which I have both, let us say, short-sightedness as well as far-sightedness. So short-sightedness I corrected. How to correct the far-sightedness? For that I need convex lens, but I cannot now see. There is a problem. If I use one lens, then I am able to correct one defect. But if I use other lens, then I am able to correct.
The defect is presbyopia.
Presbyopia.
This we call as
Presbyopia.
Bifocal lens.
Then bifocal means
Bifocal lens.
a single lens will have, I don't know, have you seen such things or not, but if you have elderly at your homes,
sir.
then you will notice they may have this defect. And they will be using
Lower part is convex.
lower part is
Convex. Upper part is concave.
and upper part is concave, I think. Yes, you are right. Lower part is convex and upper part they give as concave. So it is a single lens, but they have to adjust when they want to read something, then they will have to adjust their lens in such a way. They will be putting their lens on the tip of their nose if they want to read something. Why
Yes,
they have
sir,
to do
yes,
that? They have to do that just to see, so that the rays pass through the upper portion of the lens. So in order for the rays to pass through the upper portion of the lens, they will have to bring the lens lower, and they have to make it reach up to the tip of the nose. Because I think opposite I'm saying. Opposite or what?
Yes, sir, opposite. Lower part.
Opposite I'm saying. Lower part will be convex and the upper part will be concave. Lower part they will use to read. That is because that is convex. Convex part they will use to read, or they used to see the closer objects with the convex part. But when they want to see the farther away things, then they will be using the concave part of the lens. So yes, it is right. That is called as presbyopia. So okay, let us revise it again. Concave for what?
Myopia.
Concave for
Myopia.
or nearsightedness. That is concave. And farsightedness then
Hypermetropia, convex lens.
And the corrective lens used to be used is
Convex.
lens. Convex lens. And the third one, as you already know, when both defects are there,
Presbyopia.
near point is also not in the stable location that is beyond 25, and the far point is not at infinity, that is closer than infinity, then we need both types of corrective lenses. Astigmatism. This is another. Okay, have you understood how to find out the focal length of the corrective lens to be used? Let me ask this question. What is the focal length of the corrective lens to be used? I want to find that. I will find this way: 1 by V naught. 1 by V naught. I want the image to be formed. Wait a second. Wait a second.
We should be present at the far point.
This is lens. This is lens. Image V I will take as infinity, and U I will take as my far point. Whatever my far point is, they will give you that you cannot see beyond 2 meters. If I cannot see beyond 2 meters, it means my far point is 2 meters. So U is 2 meters and V is infinity. Then we can find out F. U is infinity. Object is at infinity. Object is at infinity. I want the image to be formed here.
V should be 2 meters.
Image should be formed at 2 meters. Then I will write the formula 1 by V minus 1 by U this time. 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. I can convert it also to magnitude terms. But this is also okay. We can think this way also, because both U and V are in same direction only. Even if I convert in magnitude terms also, then also I have to write 1 by V minus 1 by U, because both are in same side.
Same
only,
direction.
right?
Same side.
Same direction only. Both are in same side only.
Then F will be.
And I think both will be rays are coming from this side, and both will be taken negative. 1 by minus, it will be minus, and it will also be minus. That it will become 1 by U minus 1 by V is equal to 1 by F. So what is it coming out to be? Let us check it now.
Or otherwise we should get the focal length should be negative, sir, because we are using concave lens.
That way means we just find magnitude wise, and then after that you get.
Finally keep minus.
But this way also we can get, if we want exactly with, then you have take care of signs here. For the corrective lens, we may need to take care of sign. But for the eyes, we have learned that other formula. But for this, we need to take, or you take care of sign in eyes also, no problem. It will not take much time. Minus 1 by V, minus 1 by V, minus 1 by 2, plus 1 by infinity. 0 is equal to 1 by F. So what is F coming out to be? F is coming out to be minus 2 meters. It is very easy to remember actually. If our far point is 2 meters, then focal length, corrective focal length required is minus 2 meters. So simple. Far point is 2 meters, then corrective focal length required is minus 2 meters. Power required will be minus 1 by 2 meters. Minus 1 by 2 diopters. Power will be equal to 1 by F. That will become minus 1 by 2. That will diopters. It will be very easy to remember. Now, some of you may be using lenses, and you can see from that. And which kind of lenses are you using? You are students.
Concave.
Students mostly use.
Myopia.
Mostly they use concave. Exceptions are there. I have seen in every time in my class some students are there who will be having the other day also. But it is a general rule. As a general rule, you will be using mostly concave lens. And probably reason for this is because mostly when the students are studying, then they are always looking at the closer points. As I said, you will be used to seeing the closer points, but you will not be seeing farther away. So your eye gets used to it. And as a result, you have to use corrective lenses, this concave lens. So now you know, all of you know, what is your corresponding focal length. I think some of you may be knowing already what is the diopter power of this lens. Then you can tell that up to what distance you can see clearly according to your optician, the one who has recommended you this lens. According to him, up to what distance you can see clearly, that you can find out. Okay. Hypermetropia, convex lens. Hypermetropia, convex lens. How? Okay. What is? Let us do one calculation for that. At least one calculation. Let us say my near point is shifted to 30 centimeter. If my near point is shifted to 30 centimeter, then I should put the image of object which is at 25. I want to put it at 30. Then I will keep U equal to 25, and V I will keep as 30. U 25, V 30, and both negative because both are in the same side of the lens. Negative, negative. Then I will write it as minus 1 by 30 minus 1 by 25 is equal to 1 by F. What we get now? We can see, I think 6, 5, 1 by 150. F is 150 centimeters. F is 150 centimeter. F is coming out to be 150 centimeter, or it is coming out to be 1.5 meters. Means we can obtain it also. It is simple, I think, so you can do it, right? Next. Next we have astigmatism. Astigmatism, what does it mean? This defect is when the eye lens develops different curvatures along different planes, different radius of curvatures along different planes, it is more difficult to cure. Not curing we are not doing for pi lenses also, but it is more difficult to correct also, I should say. Another kind of defect arises in the lens when there are different curvatures along different planes. Anybody having this defect, astigmatism, they need cylindrical lenses. What kind of lenses they need? Cylindrical lenses. Their lenses will not be spherical. Those will be cylindrical lenses. So if they are having, means you imagine this way, that our eye is normally spherical. Normal lens of our eye is spherical. If somehow our eye does not remain spherical in, but it becomes of some other shape, means its radius of curvature is in different planes. That may happen. Its radius of curvature in one plane may be R1 and in other plane it may be R2. Then its power in one plane will be different, power in another plane will be different. If power differs in different planes, then for one object it will be showing different magnification and for other object it will be showing different magnification. Then I will be seeing the objects which will be appearing to be twisted in shape. If I see a square, it will not appear to be a square. If I see a square which is placed perpendicular to my eye, one side of the square will appear to be larger as compared to the other side, and it will not appear to be square, it will appear slightly twisted. That kind of defect it will be. That defect we call as let us see once what he's saying now. Such a person cannot see all directions equally well. In a particular direction in the plane perpendicular to the line of sight is most visible. Okay, he's not talking about magnification. I think I may be wrong also then. Wait a second. Do it. The direction perpendicular. Okay, here is a do-it-yourself test for astigmatism. There are several lines drawn. If all lines are appearing to you to be equally bright, it means you don't have astigmatism. But if you are noticing that some line is appearing to be slightly dim as compared to the other, slightly dim, all are not equally bright, one is appearing to be slightly dim. For me, if I tell you my observation, for me, this line here really is appearing to be much brighter as compared to all other three lines. Now, I don't know, is it really bright? No, I think it is not bright, because as I am changing my angle of eye, then I am noticing now this is becoming bright. If I am changing my angle of eye, then this is becoming bright. It means I am suffering from astigmatism. I was not even knowing it. You see, you can also do this test. Are you suffering from astigmatism or not?
No, sir.
Try looking at this.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Different colors. You are also suffering.
My lenses are cylindrical only, sir.
You are already having those cylindrical lenses, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you will find out that some lines will appear to be more intense, right? While as you change your eye location, you rotate your eye in one, then you will notice that some other line will appear to be more bright, more intense, more dark. I am noticing the same thing is happening with me. So yes. What is the remedy to astigmatism is also painless. Glasses with different curvatures in different planes is used to compensate for the D-shaping of the eye lens. Opticians call them cylindrical lenses. What we call those as cylindrical lenses. A person may develop any type of defects, and a combination of more than one also sometimes. Quite common in old age is the combination of nearsightedness and farsightedness. Such a person may need converging glass lens for reading purpose, diverging glass lens for seeing the distance, and upper portion will be divergent and lower portion will be convergent. As you said already, you are well aware of this fact. All right, now this is done about eyes. Some questions will be there in HCV. Those questions will be interesting. And if I tell you now only, related to eye, the questions in HCV are last questions of the exercise, last questions. That those you can do. I think from here he starts with eye. This one, this is eye only. This is eye here. You can do these questions. This you can do. But now I will start optical instruments. Optical instruments. Microscope and telescope. Telescopes are of 2-3 types. Microscope is mainly of 2 types. Of simple microscope is nothing but a single lens. A lens only is called as a microscope. Single lens, single convex lens. If I use 2 convex lenses in this way, then this is called as compound microscope. So let us first discuss about magnification of a simple microscope. Although it is just a lens, but magnification is defined in slightly different way for microscopes. And we should remember how the magnification is defined for the microscopes. We should not try to use the formula V by U directly, mindlessly. That will be wrong thing to do, because that is not how we define the magnification for microscopes. Okay, we have a different definition, and the reason comes because of this. The real size is same. It is also H, it is also H. So if I see this or I see this, actually, according to me, if I go by the rule of magnification, the way it is defined for the lenses, then let us say it is object and it is image. For the time being, I am assuming it is object and it is image form. What will be the magnification? 1? Will it be 1 or not? If V and they are of same height, it will be 1 magnification. According to the normal definition, height of image upon height of object, if that is magnification, then it will come out to be 1. But for our eye, this angle theta and this angle theta are different. And these are different. So for our eye, these two will not appear to be equally height, of equal heights. They will be appearing to be of different heights. As a result, this is appearing to be smaller, this is appearing to be larger. So I can say that for our eye, it appears to be more magnified. This appears to be more magnified as compared to this. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
This appears to be more magnified because angle is larger, image form will be larger. Therefore, we don't define simply height of image upon height of object. That definition will be wrong. That way we should not define. How should we define them? We define in terms of angle. When we view a object with naked eye, the object must be placed somewhere near infinity and the near point. The maximum angle is subtended on the eye when the object is placed at the near point. You know already, if I want to place this object, what maximum angle it can subtend at our eye?
When we place the object at near it.
When it is closed at the near point. Now, near point may be different, but let us consider the near point of a normal person. Then I should keep it up to 25. If I keep it before 25 also, then I will be damaging my eyes. It will be putting a lot of strain. We should not do that. Okay, and we should not even put for 25 also. If your eyes are feeling strain in 25 centimeters, try to keep it at a larger distance only. Don't view the objects which are very close. That will be harmful for our eyes. Anyway, let us say we are going by the standard definition and we are keeping it at a distance 25 centimeters. Then we are getting some angle theta. But I want to magnify further. I want to make it appear look larger. So if I am looking at a small, what is it? Some insect. I am looking at an insect, and it is very far away from me, and it appears to be something like this small thing here, this thing here, which is small. I will bring it close, and I will see it, and it will appear to me to be larger. But how close I can bring? I can bring it close up to 25 centimeters. If I want to still see more details of this, let us say I want to see his eyes, that how the eyes are, I want to see his organs also, then probably this eye will not be sufficient. And if I bringing closer, it will not be sufficient. Normally, we want to see something properly, then we bring it closer. But how close we can bring? We can bring up to 25 centimeters. But after that, we cannot do anything. So what we should do now? Then we should use the lens. After that, the lens comes into picture. So what we will call as magnification provided by the lens then. Then magnification provided by the lens will be how much it can help to increase the angle subtended beyond the angle which I increased automatically by bringing it closer to my eye. If I'm bringing it closer to my eye up to 25 centimeters, and by that also I'm able to increase the angle, that will not be called as magnification. Obviously, it should not be called as magnification. So what extra advantage that we are getting means, with the help of this, let us say I am able to form the image. With the help of this, I am able to form the image at a 5 centimeter away. Sorry, image will not be formed at 5 centimeter away. Image, because I cannot see this, I will be able to see only if it is formed at the near point. But I can bring object closer, and I will put the lens in such a way so that this object will again form the image at the near point only. I can do like something like this, the way they are doing it here. See here once. This is D. Capital D is representing the least distance of distinct vision. What we call near point as another name for it. Least, they may have given here also. Yes, given. Least distance for clear vision, or distinct vision also we call it sometimes. Distinct vision. Okay. So now you see this D distance here. This is H height, and angle subtended is theta naught without help of any lens. But now I'm using this lens here. After I use the lens, I'm able to bring the object even further closer to my eye and now I'm bringing it closer to f, up to f distance. I'm bringing it closer. F is the focal length of it, focal length of the lens. And with the help of that, now it will appear, the image rays will appear to be coming from what place? These rays are appearing to be coming from infinity. If the rays are appearing to be coming from infinity now, and angle subtended is not theta naught, but this is theta, then okay, we can see it because the rays are appearing to be coming from infinity. Those don't appear to be coming from f. This f may be 1 centimeter also. This f may be just 1 centimeter, and I cannot see object by bringing it close to my eye up to 1 centimeter. But with the help of lens, I can see it now. And these rays will be appearing to be coming from infinity only. So no problem for my eye. I will not feel any strain also. And I will say that the angle subtended will now become larger. So what will be the angle subtended now? Angle subtended now will be equal to theta. Theta, now new angle upon the actual angle which was subtended before, theta by theta naught. That should be called as magnification. That is how they define it. Let me check once here. Yes, see here. Theta by theta naught. Theta by theta naught is called as magnification. That is h by f upon h by d. So finally it comes out to be equal to d by f. It comes out to be equal to d by f. That is it. Okay. And d by f is also for which cases? When this f, when we are keeping this object up to distance f, can we bring it even closer also? I think somewhat closer we can bring, but then image will be formed at a near point, I think so. Means I can bring it up to near point also. Then I will not write the formula h by d upon h by f. Then I will write h by d upon h by sorry, this d is near point only. No, wait a second. This is near point. This is h by u. I should write, I think, because it is object distance for it. H by u, and v for this will be obtained at d distance. V will be at a d distance. Means I can do like this. This is object distance where I want the v to be. Here they are making v to be infinity, but v I could have made at d also because I can see up to d. So u I could make as f and v I could make as d, or I can say u is minus f and v is minus d. Then I will be getting what I want here. Let's see, I'm lost. Sorry, this is not minus f. U is something unknown. It is unknown, and f is that is a given. Then I will be getting formula 1 by u, 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f, or 1 by u is equal to 1 by f minus of 1 by v minus 1 by u. V minus 1 by u. Then I will write it this side 1 minus 1 by u plus minus plus. That is how it will become. Then I will be getting 1 by u as this thing, right? Then h by u is theta, which will become here h by v minus h by f. That it will become h by v minus, and v is here equal to d. V is equal to d, so h by d minus h by f. Then what it will become finally? Then I think I can write it as h by d minus h by f. So minus or plus it will be. Let me check that also. Let me do it properly because it will become otherwise everything wrong. 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. U is unknown. Okay. But I know magnitude wise u will be negative. So let me write it magnitude wise only. U will be negative magnitude wise. I will write it as 1 by mod u. V is d minus d. I will write it as. And 1 by mod u will become equal to 1 by f plus 1 by d, I think. Right. It will be 1 by f plus 1 by d. Then what will be h by mod u? H by mod u will be angle theta, which will become h by f plus h by d. Rather than becoming h by f, it is becoming h by f plus h by d. Then what is the magnification which I can achieve now? Now I can achieve h by f upon h by d. This will not be f. This will be h by u. In place of f, it will be h by u. H by u upon h by d, which will become here d by u. So it can become d by u also. Oh my God, why I wasted my time. He has given this already. I thought he has not given this and I was only explaining it. No need. He has given everything here only. Why I started doing all this? No need of that. In the first, he's taking this example, but then he's saying here he's getting this. This is the magnification when the image will be formed at infinity. Final image will be formed at infinity. But then he's saying the magnifying power can be further increased by moving the object still closer to the lens. Suppose we move the object to the distance u0 from the lens such that the virtual erect image is formed at the near point. Then they are using the same thing only. Then they are getting finally, as I was telling you, d by u, right? D by u, and then theta dash will become h by u naught, and magnification will become finally theta dash by theta naught, which will become d by u naught, and that I can write as 1 plus d by f. 1 plus d by f. That is it finally. So what will be the magnification of a simple microscope? I can say it varies, but it can vary from d by f to 1 plus d by f. Will it matter a lot? Not much, because d by f will be approximately equal to 1 plus d by f, as d will be much larger than f. Why? How do I know d will be much larger than f? Because I know it is a microscope. What is the purpose of microscope? Purpose of microscope is only to give the large magnification. So if I want the magnification, let us say magnification is able to magnify maybe 100 times or maybe 30 times or 15 times also, or 10 times also, let us say, very less I am assuming, it is able to magnify 10 times. Then also it is 1 plus 10, 11, and it is 10. So 10 to 11 means it is nearly 10 only. Therefore, doesn't make much difference. Magnification will be approximately equal to d by f only. But yes, if the final image is formed at a near point, then magnification becomes 1 plus d by f of the same lens only. Lens is same, lens is not changing. But for our eye, the angle subtended at our eye will appear to be larger. So it will appear to be more magnified. So therefore, understand this thing, that a slight variation will be possible, but approximately it will be equivalent to d by f only. Compound microscope now. When they say that magnifying power is written as x, what does it mean? If a magnifying power produces an angular magnification of 10, it is called as 10x magnifier. We call it as 10x magnifier. Okay. Magnification can be made very large by choosing the focal length small. However, due to several other aberrations, here again he said an important point. The image becomes too defective at large magnification with a simple microscope. Roughly speaking, a magnification is up to 4 is trouble-free. So means I was assuming something wrong completely. Sorry, my mistake. Thank God I saw it here. I was saying that magnification could be 10 or something, but he's saying clearly that it cannot be even more than 4 also, because then there are a lot of aberrations. Means I will see the object, but I will see it maybe with some defects, maybe astigmatic I will see, or maybe I will see with some other defects. There will be some other defects also possible. So I will be seeing that defective image. It will not be proper image formed. Okay. If I want proper image to be formed, then I think I should not use just single lens. I should use multiple lenses in combination. And for that purpose, that will help us in multiple way. In one more way, it will be magnifying. It will be increasing the magnification also. And on the other hand, it will be reducing the defects also. We use a combination of lenses to reduce the defects. Compound microscope comes now. Right. Objective and one objective, which is called as objective and which is called as eyepiece. The one which is closer to eye is called as eyepiece. The one which is closer to object is called as objective. Eyepiece is also called as ocular. Ocular. This side object and that side, this side eye, this side object. Objective has much smaller size, aperture. Aperture means size. Objective has much smaller aperture. And this is objective. On the other hand, eyepiece has, as you can see, larger size, larger aperture. And if it has smaller aperture, it has smaller focal length also. Objective, slightly. Final virtual images. Okay. Now, wait a second. the object is placed at a distance u naught from the objective with which is slightly greater than its focal length f naught. Where we are keeping it, object is placed at a distance u naught from the objective which is slightly greater than, see, observe it, this also is every point to be noticed properly, which is slightly greater than the focal length f naught, means it is nearly equal but slightly greater also. Here we keep it, here u naught is slightly greater than f naught. So why do we do that? Why we keep it slightly greater than focal length? Any reasons that you can think of?
We know focal length of that object length.
Why do we keep it more? Why is it placed between focal length f naught up to 2f naught? In between these two, first of all, why so? If I place between f naught and 2f naught,
Magnified
and
image.
it will be magnified and it will be
But inverted.
on the other side also. It will be formed on the other side. It will not be, it will be real also, real image. Real and magnified image will be obtained. That is why we do that. If we keep between f and 2f, we want the image to be real as well as magnified. Now, here it is inverted, but inverted is not a problem. Whenever we are looking at a microscopic object, maybe it is amoeba or it is cell of the human body, do you think we are interested in knowing that how it looks upside down, or that doesn't even matter whether we are looking at it upside down or we are whether looking at it as erect. We just want to see what are the organs inside, how it functions, what are the things inside the cell. So for that purpose, we need not worry about whether we are looking at it upside down or not. There is no up or no down for that, those small microscopic objects. It doesn't matter. But we want it to be magnified. And we want it to be magnified as large as possible. So we know largest magnification will be possible if I keep it just at the focus. Then, but for that, there will be a problem. If I do that, then image will be formed nearly at infinity. And if it is formed at infinity, then the distance between objective and eyepiece I should keep very much larger. We cannot do that. This will be a finite length between objective and eyepiece. Some small distance will be there. Small means not that much small, but as compared to focal length, it will still be larger. But yes, still means it will be small only. Length distance will not be that much large. So therefore, we can say that I want it to be nearly equal to focal length, but not exactly equal to focal length. So, and also lying between f and 2f. So therefore, they are saying this thing. It should be greater than, and it should be nearly equal to focal length also. Okay. Then we get real and inverted image formed at a distance v naught on the other side of the objective. Where we form it, v naught at the other side. Next, for the normal adjustment, the position of eyepiece is so adjusted. The position of eyepiece is so adjusted that the image formed by the objective falls in the focal plane of the eyepiece. Image formed by the object falls on the focal plane of the eyepiece. For the normal adjustment, the position of the eyepiece is so adjusted that the image formed by the objective falls on the focal plane of the eyepiece. The final image is then formed at infinity. Yes, formed by the focal plane of the eyepiece, and the final image will be then formed at infinity. Right. So it is a focal plane, and the final image is formed at. It is not that example, I think so. The diagram they are not drawing like that, but they are giving it as UE. Okay, understood. This diagram they are not drawing for the what they are saying here in inverting. If we keep it at f naught, then this image will be formed at infinity. But they are not keeping it at a focal length of eyepiece. They are keeping it at a UE distance, which is I think again close to the focal length of eyepiece, but not exactly equal to. It is less than focal length of eyepiece, I think. So in this case, in this example, then only we are getting virtual image. Yes, virtual we will be getting if it is less than f naught. Yes, FE. Yes, so focus will be somewhere. Focus will be somewhere here. Here will be the focal length of eyepiece. This is focal of the objective. This is FE and this is UE. And you are right, it is UE is less than FE. But on the other hand, U naught was greater than F naught. Okay. All right. And also, although this is less, but this also I can say nearly equal to FC, and the other one also I can say U naught is nearly equal to F naught. Why I'm saying nearly equal also is important sometimes, because we may need a problem. Sometimes they may give less information to us. When they don't give us adequate information, then we treat then we use these approximations when the data is lacking. This we call as capital L. They are not representing it. The distance between the objective and the eyepiece is called as the length of the instrument. We call it as length of the compound microscope. Read in NCERT also what NCERT has to say in that. I think as far as I remember, NCERT says from focus to focus distance is called as the focus of this to the focus of the other. That is called as length according to NCERT definition. But this definition is really,
that side focus, not this side.
This side focus. Have you seen it already?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
No. Just check it once, then only tell. Don't say like that otherwise.
Previously, you told us like that.
When did I say? Today only I'm taking this.
In optics, when you're taking
Second time.
optics, you told, sir.
Optical instruments have I taken before also?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Really?
Aberrations,
have to-
and, but that time,
At that time it was not in syllabus, I
IPC.
think, but I myself only took briefly, I think so.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In
Okay,
optics,
just once you read it once again in NCERT. I'm not 100% sure. If it is this, then fine. But you once maybe you better cross check from there. But it is also, and I was not interested in knowing also that much. Reason is because this definition keeps on changing from place to place. But in IIT, unfortunately, they ask questions based on this. And when they ask, then sometimes they give answer according to one definition, and sometimes they give answer according to other definition. We cannot be certain in that place also. But as of now, better thing will be that if we follow the convention of NCERT, because whatever is given in NCERT, that we can treat as more sacred, more important for us. Okay. So let us follow the convention used in NCERT. You can read that text once. For the time being, okay, means it is approximately the distance between the objective and eyepiece. That is it, right? Next comes our magnifying power. So read something here also what they are writing. Let me come to straight to the point. I want to come to magnification directly now. To come to magnification directly, let me tell you which angles are formed here. One angle, if it is directly subtending, that will be theta naught, and now it is subtending theta dash in place of theta naught. If I directly look at it at a distance d, then what angle it will be subtending? Then it will be subtending theta naught. If I look at this height of object at a distance d with naked eye, then it will be subtending theta naught. But now it is subtending theta dash. So my advantage is theta dash upon theta naught. That is my advantage. So I can write theta dash upon theta naught. I can write as h dash upon ue into h upon d, or h dash upon h into d upon ue. H dash upon h we can write as v naught upon u naught. How? Let us check it here. H dash upon ue and h dash upon v naught. Yes, right. These two. See here once. This triangle and the other one, this one. In one triangle, we are having h dash upon v naught, h dash upon uv, h dash upon ue, and this is d upon h. So we are getting h dash upon h into d upon ue. Theta dash is h dash upon ue, and theta naught is equal to d upon h, capital D upon h, capital D upon h. Let me check.
You know.
That is by definition only. Here they have not written. We already know theta naught we define as when we see with the naked eye some object which is kept at a distance of d. That is by definition. That is by definition only, not u naught. That is by definition h by d. When we see, I told you what is the maximum magnification that we can see for an object with naked eye. This is theta naught. The maximum angular size of the object which I can see with the naked eye, that is h by d. So as compared to that maximum size which I can see with naked eye, as compared to that what we are seeing now, that should be regarded as magnification. Understood? Are you understanding what I am saying? The maximum angle that I can see with naked eye, this is that. maximum angle subtended by object on our eye without any lens, or on naked eye, we can say on naked eye. That is this h upon d, that is theta naught. But as compared to that, what we are getting now, we are getting theta dash. So their ratio should be regarded as magnification. What is theta dash? H dash divided by UE. And what is this? D by H. Then we are writing it as H dash by H into D by UE. But H dash by H we can further write as H dash by H we can further write by this triangle. These two triangles here. One triangle and the other triangle. I'm not saying this is theta naught. You are misunderstanding me. This is not theta naught. But we need these two triangles to write our that definition, I think so. You may be thinking we don't need this. We need it. Because this angle, whatever it is, let it be alpha. This also will be alpha. And I think they are writing in that terms only. See once. D upon UE into H dash upon H. H dash upon H is V naught upon U naught. Is it coming out to be that or not? Let me do it myself only. I'm confused now what they are doing here. H dash upon H into D upon UE. H dash upon H is equal to V naught upon U naught. Is it right? H dash upon H is equal to V naught upon U naught. H dash, I think right. This triangle, okay. The triangle which they are, from where they are getting this conclusion, those triangles are these triangles here. These two triangles here. H dash upon U naught is equal to H upon V naught, right? That only. Right or not? This only. These angles are equal because these opposite angles. These two angles are equal. Correct only. So from that we are getting, what is the result that we are getting at last? H dash by H into D by UE, then H dash by H we are substituting as V naught by U naught, then we are getting it at last, V naught by U naught into D by FE. If D by UE, now D by UE, I told you in simple microscope also. D by UE we can write in two ways. One way we can write as D by FE, another we can write as 1 plus D by FE. Right or not? For simple microscope, I have told you already. Therefore, they can write this as well as they can write this. Normal adjustment, one term, important term to be used, normal adjustment. What do we mean by normal adjustment? Normal adjustment means when it also means relaxed eye. What it means? A relaxed eye. And it also is one more thing other than relaxed eye. It means when the image is formed at infinity. Final image at infinity. So when final image is formed at infinity, or when the eye is relaxed, or when the normal adjustment is there, then in all these three cases, these are not three cases, this is single case only, but three different ways of saying it. In all these three, in this case, we can say M is equal to V by U into D by FE. But on the other hand, the other case, when the final image is formed at least distance of distinct division, we call this thing as strained eye. We don't call it as normal adjustment, we call it as strained eye. Then this is the formula, V by U. And what is V by U here? V by U is nothing but V naught by U naught. They are not writing it as V naught by U naught, but I think they should have written that. It should be clear what we mean by V and what is meaning by of U here. Here they wrote it, but after they just changed it to V by U only. But we should keep in mind that it is V naught by U naught. Now, even if it is V naught by U naught, it will still not be helpful to you. Mostly they don't give V naught. Mostly they don't give U naught. Then how
Approximately equal
they don't
length
give U naught? As I told, yes, U naught is approximately equal to F naught, and V naught is approximately equal to the length
L
of
minus
the
UE.
compound microscope, or L minus UE. If they give UE, then fine, then I can write L minus UE. Depends on L also what they are taking as L. It depends on that. So V, I think they are doing that also here. They are doing that also. They have done everything here only. See this they are doing here. Finally, they are writing it as L by F naught into D by Fe. Minus at last they are writing, not because we are taking everything with signs. We are taking nothing with signs here. Everything is here magnitude wise. But overall, they have added negative sign because we know that the final image is inverted as compared to the initial object. So therefore, we are at last we are putting negative. But in between, neither D will be taken negative, nor F naught, nor Fe, nor L. All this will be taken positive only. F naught and Fe. Otherwise, I cannot take positive because both the lenses are convex lenses. Right or not? Both the lenses are convex only. Then wait. Then we have next we have wait a second. Astronomical telescope. Astronomical telescopes. Examples they may be giving here, but practice is yours. But formula we have to remember, or maybe we should know how to derive. But just two things we have to remember: that science we don't have to worry. Everything is here magnitude wise in this formula. Okay. 1 plus D by Fe. Everything is magnitude. Telescopes. 3 kinds of telescopes are there, mainly astronomical. 3 or 4, I think. 3-4 kinds are there. Astronomical 1, and one is terrestrial 2, and Galilean 3, and one more is there. I think ABC D. Here they have not given, but we can say one is reflecting type telescope, in which it is based on reflecting mirror. But no problem. I will discuss first this. Mainly, I will discuss two telescopes here. One is astronomical and other is terrestrial. In fact, if I discuss astronomical, that will be enough. And from there only we can get all others quickly. It will not take much time. Again, objective, the one which is closer to the object. That is objective.
So for strained eye, what is that magnification, sir? In compound.
What?
For strained eye.
For strained eye, the magnification will be L by F naught into 1 plus D by Fe.
Okay.
Means in place of D by Fe, the formula will change. In place of D by Fe for normal eye and 1 plus D by Fe for strained eye. That will be the difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. So next we have, because this is the formula, see here, this formula you observe here, this formula and this formula, compare these two. Okay, V by U we are again replacing, but we can remember this also, V naught by U naught. I expect you to remember V naught by U naught into M of single microscope. You remember this way, V naught by U naught into magnification of a simple microscope. Then simple microscope magnification, I already told you, that can be 1 plus D by Fe, that can be D by Fe, or that can be any one value in between these two also. This is also for one extreme case. Which extreme case? When image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. But there may be other intermediate cases. Then the formula will be D by Fe and here D by UE magnitude wise. That it will be into V naught by U naught. So this is the actual formula if you want to remember, which will always be valid obviously. D by UE plus 1 by D by Fe into V naught by U naught. You write this. From there only we will get the above two. How? If I put UE as UE or VE? VE I think.
VE, sir.
VE. If I put VE equal to D, then it will become 1 plus D by Fe. If I put VE as infinity, then it will become just D by Fe. So we can remember this formula, right? One formula only. That will give us other two formula also. And this formula only will give us this formula also. But for that, we have to put V naught approximately equal to length and U naught approximately equal to FO. But when they don't give U naught equal to FO and when they don't give U naught equal to L, then obviously that will not be valid. And in some cases, let us say they are naming it as compound microscope. Although they are calling it as compound microscope, but they are giving U naught, which is less than F naught, or U naught, which is greater than 2F naught, or U naught, which is equal to 2F naught. In such cases, don't even call it as compound microscope. Even if the person is calling it as compound microscope, then you start doing everything from the basic, taking these as lens 1, lens 2, because then we cannot trust any of these formulae. These are applicable only when our standard, then when it behaves like a standard compound microscope. In standard compound microscope, what are the conditions? Conditions are that the objects must be kept somewhere nearly F0, but little beyond it. It will be between F0 and 2F0. But if I don't follow our beginning condition itself, then obviously the image will not be formed in this way also. Ray diagram will become different. Then if everything is becoming different, then we should not even call it as a compound microscope. Even if they call it as compound microscope, then we can just consider it as combination of two lenses, and then we can do by normal methods the way we do, taking one image at a time from one lens, then again from the second lens. That is that method we'll use only. So please keep this idea in mind. Okay, right. Next is astronomical telescope. So first one is our objective. See, the rays are coming from infinity, from large distance. The rays are coming, but the rays are coming here in a. They are drawing it obliquely. They are coming obliquely. I will give a reason why they do that. And then the image is formed in the focus of. This is exactly focus of the focal length of the objective. There is no doubt about it. It is focal plane, definitely and definitely. And for the astronomical telescope, this length will be equal to F0 plus Fe. I can say this is UE also. I can call it as F0 plus UE. But UE will be approximately equal to Fe, especially for those cases. It will be exactly equal to Fe when the final image is also formed at infinity, means which we call as normal adjustment,
Far point.
or relaxed eye, or the far point, normal adjustment, relaxed eye, or when it is formed at far point, or the other one is when it is formed at near point, or the strained eye. Okay. Anyway, so length will be this. What will be theta naught, theta dash? Okay, one more thing. What was our definition for compound microscope of theta naught? Theta naught was what is the maximum magnification that we can have for any object. So if we have a tiny object, then we can bring it closer to what distance? Up to d distance. But if we are looking at the star, can I bring it closer? Can I bring the star closer to my eye? Tell me, can we do that? So do I have any control over theta formed by the moon on my eye? If theta formed by moon on my eye, on the naked eye, is theta naught, I cannot change that. That will be fixed only, because I have no way to bring moon closer to my eye. But this was possible only for microscopes, but it's not possible for telescopes. So in telescopes, this theta naught will be always same only. That cannot change. And in fact, here we define theta naught in this way. This definition I think comes out to be different here. Here we define it as beta by alpha. I think so. This is how we define it, beta by alpha. Beta by alpha. Let me check, is it right or not? Yes, right, beta by alpha. So please don't carry the definition of compound microscope to the telescope. That will be definition. Angle subtended by the final image on the eye. Angle subtended by the final image on the eye. That was in that case also. In the case of compound microscope also, it was same thing. On the numerator is same, but denominator was different for the compound microscope, and it is different now. Angle subtended by the object on the unaided eye. Angle subtended by the object on the unaided eye. Now, although you may think that that was same for the normal compound microscope also, but that was slightly different. The reason is, in compound microscope, we should say this. So we can say maximum possible angle subtended by the object on the unaided eye. So that angle subtended by the object means by the moon, it will be just equal to alpha only. Same thing I think we can say. Okay. Anyway, m is equal to beta by alpha. This we are getting that it is f naught by fe. Why beta by alpha is f naught by fe? You can see this triangle, these two triangles here. These two triangles here, you see. Beta by alpha will be equal to alpha is alpha dash also. Alpha is alpha dash also. So beta by alpha is equal to f naught by fe. Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the magnifying power is very simple. Minus they are writing again because of the same reason as we did before also. We wrote minus there also.
Inverted.
It is finally inverted. That's why we write it as minus. Although for terrestrial telescope, we will see later on, it is astronomical. Means when we are seeing the objects which are in the sky, that kind of telescope it is. If we are looking at the objects which are on the earth, we call it as terrestrial telescope. Terrestrial telescopes should see erect. That we should see erect. For that, magnification will be positive only. That will not be negative. So this is it, and what else is remaining in this? Let me check once. I think that only. I don't know this, whatever they have given here, the theory, if you want to read, but I don't think there will be anything significant here. I think the length. You can read it although, maybe if you get something, but I don't find anything. Here mainly it will be this only. M will be equal to F naught by Fe, that we can see from the diagram itself. After that they are writing it in different form, that also we should see. F naught by Fe. The only discussion here going on is that this is when the final image is formed at the near point, then we will have this lower, whatever we want to do here. This, then we should write not F naught by Fe, then we should write it as F naught by E. You will understand what we should write, F naught by UE. That we should write magnitude wise. Which will become, as you already know, 1 by UE was equal to 1 by D plus 1 by Fe. That was 1 by UE. So that is equal to F naught. Then F naught by, then same thing only, just write the value of UE here. In the diagram which they have given, for that diagram it is actually UE, because this is formed at a distance D. Understood or not? So what is our formula? I will prefer to write formula not as this. If I want to remember one formula, then I will prefer to remember F naught by UE, because this UE will automatically become equal to Fe in case of image formed at the far point at last. So therefore, this is the formula which will give us both formulas. So better to remember this formula, F naught by UE, rather than remembering F naught by Fe. This only you remember, F naught by UE. That will give us this as well as this. Length of the telescope, as I told you before, it will be again same thing, F naught plus UE. Terrestrial telescope is same only, same type of navigation, same formula, except one difference. Length of the telescope will be different. Remaining everything is nothing is changed here. Same thing only. Same only. See. Now we use one intermediate lens. The purpose of this lens is not to magnify, but only to make the object image erect. So that finally we see the objects not inverted but erect only, because we want to see at the objects which are on the earth. So we don't want here the upside down will matter to us, whether it is upside down or not. The things which are upside down, those should appear like upside down only, and those which are erect, those should appear to be erect only. So here this is significant for us for terrestrial telescope. This is important, and 2f is important here. This overall extra length it will cause for the telescope. This telescope will be longer by additional length 4f. Next we have Galilean telescope. Galilean telescope is no difference in, I will not even say that you remember this. You remember this only. Which one? You remember one formula only, that is F naught upon UE. Or this formula you remember. In this case, just Fe will become negative. Means then it will automatically become concave. If I change Fe and I make it a negative sign, then it will become concave. And then right only, then you can see what we are getting for this. See here. Same I was telling you that you just put Fe, put with minus sign. And this is what we will be getting. That is it. Our discussion on telescopes and the instruments. Do some questions and some doubts will arise. I will discuss those in class. Any doubts from yesterday's class?
No, sir.
So try to do today these questions, and I will recommend you to start from examples again. Examples, then objectives, and then exercise. Please do it. Start doing now. I think time is also nearly over. Time is also over. Can someone check now in NCERT whether they are giving which focal length to which focal length? Check it once if you can see NCERT now, if you are having access to it.
Sir, may I stop recording, sir?
You stop recording.